Welcome back, Flutter developers. Welcome to my channel about Flutter. In today's video, I will be showing you how to implement voice input for search action in an app bar. Here's a list of English words and there's a mic icon. When you click on it, it asks for the permissions and then start listening. Then I said word watermelon and the watermelon comes in the search bar. And when I hit the search, it displayed in my display page. So let's get started. I wrote a companion article to explain this whole tutorial in my blog as well. And this is the next article to my original article about implementing search action in AppBar. So just to go through what it was for focusing on, the search-delegate widget. And here, if you click on the search bar, icon here, it will take you to the search bar where you can type in your text or query, and then that will open into the search page. So this is my old article that was about, so you can read more details about how search app delegate works right here. Okay, in today's article, the same thing we will be doing, but using a mic icon. So when you click mic icon, it asks for the permission, whatever is needed on iOS or Android, and then pre-populate the search bar, like I said, watermelon here, and then it will pre-populate the search right here, rather typing it in here, and will do the very same. So in this code recipe for Flutter, we will be covering three things. One is adding a mic icon in search bar, handling permission in Flutter, using the permission handler plugin, and lastly, we will be integrating speech recognition using speech recognition Flutter plugin. So what does that plugin does? It accepts our voice, or it listens to our voice, what we are saying, and convert into the text, which is called transcription or transcribed text right here. All right, so let's see. And I will be using here in simulator. So just to give a quick real feel of the app, or the addition actually, is this icon. It's mic icon right here. So since this app is already installed and I have given permissions already, it will not pop now a permission dialog in this case. So when I click on it, it starts listening. So I would say word watermelon once I click on it. Let's start. Watermelon. There you go. And when I click search, I just hit enter right here. So what does it? It finds that word in the search list and display in this very simple display page. All right, let's go back. Now let's see how we can do it in the code. So just to give you a first walkthrough. So in my usually articles, the structure of my articles and videos are, I go over my blog post that I've written in detail and in my videos to give you a walkthrough, and also I show you code alongside. All right, so the first thing first we have to add the dependencies. So as I said, there are two plugins are needed. One is for permission handler plugin to handle the permission, so which is I'm using this 3.2.0, and the speech recognition plugin to capture the voice input from a user and convert into the text that we can use it for the query, the word in the search list. All right, so first we will be adding this mic icon here in a search bar. To add this, actually, let's jump into the code right here. So let's go here. All right, so first we will be adding the mic icon. So what we do is, it's my whole code that it's the exactly same file that I had in my last tutorial. Only thing I added is the action. So right here. So I had my icon button having search right here, which was from the last tutorial. So what it does, when you click on the search, it takes you to the show search page, which is where the user is prompted to enter the type the text, the search query. But in this case, I really don't need to go. I don't want system to prompt me a input to be able to type. What I instead rather I want is I need a mic button. So if I press, it should start listening to what I need to say or what I want to search. So that's why I added we will be building a voice input right here. So there is a condition right here. So if a speech recognition is available, and if it's not already listening, then it starts listening. If it's already listening, probably we do not want to. It actually stops. So if a previous instance of it's already listening, we may want to stop to conserve on our resources. And if it's listening, it just you saw in right here in my app. So when I click on it, it starts listening. Hello. And hello came here, but this is what it does. So the little icon, the text came here. That's what it comes from here. If it's listening, it starts print listening to give user an idea that you can speak now. Okay, so in here in the build voice input, if I go inside, what I do, I have a label and a callback that I just pressed. Let's go back and show callback once more time. So callback is my on pressed, like if it's depending on this condition, it will start or stop listening. That's my callback. And my label, like what I want it to be printed or updated. And what I do, I'm using a flat button to type in there, a flat button to show my text. That's why it's very thin around there. And next to it, I need a mic icon. So that's pretty much this. So let's go back here, and that's what we are doing here. So we are recognizing if speech is available or not, and if it's listening, and we start or stop or listening, and then we have a little, if we go in here is a flat button and icon. Flat button and icon is right here. This is a flat button which is not visible unless you click on it and it updates the status right here. And next to it is this mic button. So that's to it. Now let's move on to the handling permissions. So you need to ask user permissions because Android consider the recording permission as a dangerous level. So what does that mean? That means user should be aware of that their voice is being recorded, and they should have whole rights to either allow or deny the permissions. So if they deny, the feature of that app will not work, and that should be prompted to the user as well. All right. So I have used this plugin. You can go on the link to see details about this plugin right here, 0.32, and its scoring is 100, which means it's pretty good, a nicely maintained plugin. And let's go back. And now what it does, it shows the voice recording permission are required. And so this is on Android. That's how the UI looks like. And this is how it looks like on iOS. It's right here. All right. So now what we do on Android is a little formatting issue here. I'll fix that. So we need to add the permission in Androidmanifest Xml. So let's show you very quick right here. So in my Android, right here, and it's Androidmanifest. As you know, if you're an Android developer, or if you don't, you can go under Android under app, and inside that Androidmanifest.xml, you will see. And this is where I add these two permissions. Actually, internet permission are usually there, but if it's not, please add that. And the record audio is the next one you will need. All right. And you may want to, so when I use this plugin, it wanted me to override this library com.lay.permission This is the one error that showed by one of the plugin. I don't remember which one was that, but if you prompt it, you may want to add that one too. Okay, so that one is required at Android side. And okay, and on the iOS side, you want to add two keys: privacy microphone usage description and the description what it's supposed to be doing. Like this application needs to access your microphone. You have to tell user why you need this permission. Like here, would like to access. You can have this is my search.l_appbar is my app name here. And okay, so this is one you want to populate it. And in here it says here so this description it should show this value needs to access your microphone right here, or the speech. If it's a speech recognition, it should show this one policy. It will ask for two permissions. Again, I see a formatting issue here. I will fix that one too in a bit. And now, once you have your Android.xml and info.plist in place, next step is to ask for permissions. So you want to ask for request permission, and this is where the plugin, the handling permissions plugin comes into play. So this is being called from plugin permission status or plugins method, and it awaits. It's an asynchronous method. We do not want to block our UI. So we have this permission handler, the check permission, checks the permission for microphone. Okay. And if a permission is not granted, user is prompted this screen to request permission. And once it's given, the permission is given or denied. If it's denied, nothing will happen. Your app, that feature will not work, but you should prompt user that you can show a rationale in Android to why the permission is needed. But fairly description says it pretty well in iOS, like why they need it at first place. So now the last step is integrating speech. Before we move to integrating speech, let me show you quickly how the permissions look like in my main dot. So it goes here and we request permissions, and it's right here. The permission request, we need to do it just before when we call the speech recognizer. So we'll be using it in the speech recognition. When we activate our speech recognition, we'll be calling permission just before it. Now let's move on to the speech recognition. So right here, so the speech recognition, this is a permission handling and this is speech recognition. So first thing, speech recognition, we want to have in a stateful widget. What does that mean is, if I have to put it into my state, not somewhere else, where the any changes by the user or any new input can be accessed and can be updated into your app. And we need these four things. First thing, we need reference to the speech recognition, which is coming from the speech recognizer plugin, recognition plugin. And next one thing we need, speech recognition, if it's available or not. We need a flag because we want to only send or show the user to listen or not if it's available at first place. If it's not, why we will not do that? And if it's listening or not, because we'll be using this flag for upgrading we'll be using this flag for upgrading the button state, like the status shown to the user. And this transcription is the text that will be updating to from voice to text. So this is a transcription, the transcribed text. We'll be using this variable to hold that in. Okay, so now we initialize the speech recognizer in our state. So what does it mean? Where we do it, like so in this particular case, I'm initiating my recognizer in the init state, like when my app launches, it activate my speech recognizer. This can also be done when user interacts with the mic button, like in an application where you want to give the access to the ask for the permissions at a particular point. So in that case, you can call this activate speech recognizer in that case. And okay, so the speech recognizer needs a couple of methods, like in the callbacks inside. So just to go over it, what they are. So on speech availability, it updates the status as the availability of speech is there or not, or so it's false is the beginning to begin with by default. On current locale is like what locale of the language it's listening to. You can change that. However, I've been using the English locale right here, English US. And now on recognition started. So when you start listening, the callback is fired and it will start listening to the user's input. And this is where it updates the is listening flag to true. And the last one, I mean, not exactly last, but the very important one is the on recognition result. So when the user, the plugin understands, okay, listen to the voice and it's able to recognize what it is, then it transcribe it. So first thing we do, we update the text as into the transcription variable. And second thing, that's where we want to show the page, the search page. And we pre-populate the search text bar using that transcribed voice. And when the on recognition complete, we set the flag to the false. This numbering is wrong. I have to fix that one too. Okay. So now what happens inside? Let's go jump into the Android Studio to see the details. All right. So this is where we activate our speech recognizer. First thing, we first take a reference or initiate the speech recognition. Second, we set availability handler, which is on speech availability. So what it's right here. So this is a stateful widget. So it's right here. So what it can change its state. We can modify the speech recognition available flag. So depending on if it's available or not, it's set it to true or false. Second is the locale handler. In locale handler, so if a locale is changed, it will be updated right here. So if we go there, so our locale is here. So I'm just printing my locale, which is I know it's English US in this case. However, we still have to have the the callback there in case the locale changes. We want to update it if that changes. And the on recognition started handler is this one. So when it starts is listening to true, simple. And now the result. So when we get the result, what we do with them, we put that in on recognition result callback. So this is where three things happens. Once the text, which is transcribed text, is passed to it, and we update our transcription variable to pass it to the show search. Second, we open the show search page with the pre-populated transcribed voice query. And third thing we do is stop listening. So that is something you may want to do or not, depending on your case. In my case, I do not want to keep listening when I already searched because I want to start a new search. So I want new transcription. Or it's totally up to you if you want to just keep listening or not, but I decided not to in my case. And when on recognition complete, the is listening flag is false. Okay, so that's pretty much I had in here. And once you have everything in place like here, so only changes we made was all this code was there already. You can refer to my first the article before it to go over the details of this. The only changes we made here was we added these three things: speech recognizer, and in the init state, this is a new method we added, request permissions, and this whole method, and this is where we request permission and initialize the speech recognition plugin. And this is my the little mic button code responsible for that, which is where it's just a button and a raise and a flat button to update the status. And this will everything was there. And in the search-delegate, literally there is no change because it doesn't really care how the text is coming, whether you're typing it in or you're using the voice. So there is absolute no change in rest of the code. We still use show search page in the transcription. And okay, cool. Yeah, so that's pretty much I had for you today. And I'm running it in here in iOS. You can run in Android too. And that's pretty much for this video. I hope to see you in my next video. And all the references and everything of the plugins are right here. And so this is how a little screenshot looks like for this. I'm searching my watermelon right here. So yeah, that's pretty much for this tutorial. I'll see you in the next video, and please leave me comments if you want me to make videos on a specific topic or something you don't understand, and I will